Welcome to Support Life, a program focusing on current social issues from a life-affirming perspective. I'm Gavin Baulch and my guest is John Hendriks, the founder and executive producer of Support Life. Welcome back, John. This is 2016. How about that?
Time's gone really fast, hasn't it?
It has flown. In fact, we could say it's almost Back to the Future. We might make a movie called Back to the Future 7 or something. We are going to go back a little bit to last year. A few things you want to say as the year concluded?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the first thing is that we've got some exciting times ahead in 2016 for Support Life. We're going to talk about them shortly. We had a great year in 2015. Everyone worked really hard. We had a lot of passionate people on our program who spoke from the heart and spoke and opened up our eyes and ears to a lot of things that were happening and had happened, and told their stories about their experiences, and that was just fantastic to be part of that. I wanted to thank some people that I had forgotten, especially the young people of the 2015 year. And let's face it, it's the young people that are going to be the future that are going to speak on this subject, Gavin. So quickly, Danny Sullivan, who came onto our show, is a new lady that started with us, a new young lass. So looking forward to working with her. Rebecca Walsh, who's been on our show and worked with us. Fiona McKenzie, who I forgot to mention in our last program, doing a lot of work behind the scenes. Seth Tui, the Tui family, part of the youth mission team, have been involved in that for 25 years and run a great program with drama and exciting things with young people in colleges to bring the message of love and hope and gospel and God to them. Thomas Baulch, your grandson, who was on the show, who spoke well. And some new exciting people in 2016, like Sue Dooley. The Dooley family, she's a pharmacist, Sue, and she has a lot to talk about. She's very passionate, and there's a couple of other people who have been on the show who are coming again, like Peter Stevens and things like that, who we're grateful for them always giving up their time.
Yes, and to be able to call on such a depth of experience from these people, we're privileged, and stories, these good, true, deep stories are so important, and we need to tell one another life stories.
We certainly do. We realise how precious life is when we see how people will defend life in illness, illnesses, sicknesses, or people will give up everything they have to hold on to what they've got, which we take for granted. So the question begs, why is potential of a life, or why is the life in a womb, why isn't the life in a womb so important to our society right now? And that's the question of 2016 of our show, bringing awareness about life in the womb. A child in the womb can't speak for itself. It's unable to defend itself. So are we a society of the strongest and the hardest and the boldest survive? And because a child in the womb is not yet born and unable to speak and defenceless, is it the one that's the most at risk of being not born into our world? Are we living like animals? We've got to ask ourselves.
And it's true. And I'll give our animal liberationists some 10 out of 10 for wanting to support the life of the creature that cannot speak for itself and the suffering that creature goes through. My challenge is, how about they carry the same passion and thought and intent across to the unborn child who has no voice and is suffering during the abortion?
Yeah, look, it's a horrible subject, and we're both not women, so we probably would never know what it feels like to carry a child in the womb. We don't know what the connection is in terms of having a child inside you. I mean, males don't understand that. We never will. So the last thing we want to do is condemn any woman for making a decision to abort. I mean, it is legal, and even when it wasn't legal, people were doing it. And no doubt it'll continue, even if laws were to be changed, it'll still continue. But that's not what we're about. We're not about that. What we're about is bringing awareness to the subject of life, and life affirmation, and the gift of life, and the preciousness of life. And that's what it's all about, Gavin. That there's a heart for life, and there's there's got to be more to life than just a decision.
Yes, I think one of the deep things that's affected me on the show is women simply sharing about the support that they are giving to other women during their trimester. Homes and shelter and food and support and visits, and even should a woman make the decision to abort the child, the care being offered after still continues in many areas. And so there is this desire to make it a good outcome for women, whatever their choice. And so again, the love and the care and the compassion is being offered right across the board from those who are out there helping with this message of love and care.
Absolutely, and I just worry that we take for granted the such precious gift of being able to have life, being able to give life to another person. And there are some countries that have been desensitized to life, and they've got one child policies and all this sort of stuff, and not good.
Good. And for the women watching, as a male, I apologise when men are not there to help, and in fact sometimes there to hurt and harm. So please forgive us. You're watching Support Life, and we'll be back after the break. Welcome back to Support Life. I'm Gavin Baulch, and my guest is John Hendriks, the founder and executive producer of Support Life. John, we have kind of gone back to 2015. Now we're looking at what the future holds for us. So spill the beans on some things.
Well, after a fair bit of research in the area of promoting this program and other programs that I'm involved with, and promoting business, currently the future of promoting video recordings is what people are listening to at the moment. So I think the records say that there's 91% of people, what they're watching online is generally a video, and there's 72 hours of a video being recorded every minute on YouTube. 72 hours of footage every minute that goes up on YouTube. So that's an enormous amount of and we all know that a picture tells 1,000 words. So we're looking at that into 2016, and we're saying, okay, we need to get with the times. We need to make some changes, and we need to look at our online presence. Given there's a slight uncertainty about the future of perhaps Channel 31's funding after the end of 2016, it may or may not continue. We're not sure. There's talk that it may not. It may not continue on free-to-air, but it will obviously continue in other forums. So some of the things we're looking at are, like an online TV promotion program, international and sort of local markets as well. Web-based TV, where these things are streamed through mobiles and iPads, various different broadcasting of YouTube and Vimeo, I think it's called. Yeah, so there's about 20 to 30 potential channels that we can put our program on, and I know that those programs will be available in other countries that we're also going to be promoting in, like Canada, where there's a big pro-life movement, Ireland, Scotland, obviously the US with all the issues about Planned Parenthood, and I think the UK as well. You know, these sort of first world countries are really considering where things stand at the moment in this area.
And of course, we have already swung over to high def.
We have, yeah. So that's great. So you'll be able to see us clearer and hear us better, and
totally, and count the hairs on my head, and maybe the hairs growing out of the side of my ears.
That's right. So look, it's an exciting time for Support Life, and I think we've sort of broken the back of where we started at the end of 2013. We had a pretty tough ride in 2014 trying to get people on board. 2015, I think we had a few more people willing to come on, but again, they needed a little bit of a push. So, you know, we're also asking for people to come on this year, 2016, and come on and feel free to chat about what you're passionate about issues that affect your society, our society. It doesn't only have to be about the Law Reform Act. It doesn't have to be about abortion. We can come on and speak to us about same-sex marriage, what your view is on euthanasia, what your view is on same-sex adoption, things like that. We're happy to have people on board. We've had Muslim leaders. We've had people speak about contraception. We've had people on the program who are working with disability people. That was an exciting show as well. It's the marginalised, I guess, the people who are marginalised, who are put in categories maybe not mainstream. We'd like to hear from them. We'd like to hear about what their views are on things, Gavin.
It's those who feel, and in fact, in a number of cases, do not have a voice. And we're looking for the advocates of those who will speak on their behalf, speak with them, encourage them to speak themselves. So it's an avenue of, I'd call it grace. Here we are, and we're opening the door to those who would love an opportunity just to share life and their journey.
Absolutely, and not to be worried about a camera, not to be afraid. Things that remain in darkness, where there's no light, we say there's wrongdoings. Okay, if you're happy to talk about it, open it up, bring it into the light. And someone said to me recently, it's not when we sin where there's a problem. It's when we lose hope. When we lose hope in life, when we lose hope in what we're trying to achieve. Because when we think there's no hope, then what hope is there really?
Yes,
but if we believe there's hope, and I believe there is, then there's every opportunity. And I think the evil one wins when we give up hope.
Yes, good men and women only have to be silent, and chaos reigns. And we bring, a dark shadow over the land.
Yeah, correct. So please come on board, come and speak to the lovely Gavin and the different lovely people that we have here that were very welcoming, and wanted to thank you for last year and look forward to working with you again, in 2016, Gavin, and can't wait.
Well, the tools that we have to work with, the technology and young people who are or young adults who are media savvy, there's so much they can do, and they're reaching numbers of people that, when I was their age, it was a letter or a telegram.
Showing your age there. Showing your age there. Yeah, now we've got Instagram, Twitter, the Viper, there's WhatsApp, there's YouTube, obviously. Gee, there's so many offshoots from all of that.
Mm-hmm.
There's companies now that integrate your video with about 20 or 30 other platforms. And I'm looking into that for this year, and hopefully you'll see more of us on those channels.
It's an exciting age we live in. You've been watching Support Life, and we'll be back after the break. Welcome back to Support Life. I'm Gavin Baulch, and my guest is John Hendriks, the founder and executive producer of Support Life. John, here we are, the last 7 minutes of the program, and we've talked about this great time we live in, this challenging time we live in. But let's tell the people that we're a little bit more than just a half-hour program, but we're involved in activities. And there were a few that happened last year. Will they be happening in 2016?
Yeah, absolutely, Gavin. The March for the Babies was a significant one that's on every pro-life calendar. It's held around about the 8th of October, 8th or 10th, but it coincides with the anniversary date of when the legislation was passed, the Law Reform Act, Abortion Act in Victoria. And this year, or last year I should say, 2015, I went along, and it was well held, well managed. There wasn't much of the protesters that were getting in the way. About 3,500 people walk peacefully along, I think it's Exhibition Street or Russell Street, and then up down Flinders Street, and then back up again to Parliament House. And there are a few speakers, some are international speakers that come along on the day. There's quite a few politicians that are from different parts of the country that stand up and speak about what their views are and what they're trying to do in Parliament, and how long they debate things, and not to give up, and to give people encouragement and to come along and look. I think it's a great opportunity once a year for people to get out there, show their strength, put their colours on, their blue and pink balloons and tops and all that sort of thing, and really show out there as a force.
Here are families just walking, marching together, prams and babies and toddlers, and some kids are carried, and some are carrying their balloons, and just the most peaceful, wonderful march you could think of. And it's just a pity that outsiders come in and just want to throw mud and spoil and actually affect young children.
Yeah, it does. Look, it does. But it didn't deter people. We had a couple of years ago, we had a few incidences, but the police were on hand and they sorted things out. But last year and the year before, I think it's 2013 was a bit of a rocker, but 2014 and 15 were quite peaceful, and we hope the same for this year. It's nice to see people's desire and willingness to show their appreciation publicly, vocally, peacefully, that they don't agree with it. And it's not just Christian people, it's not just God-loving people, it's just everyone that knows that life is precious, and we should do everything we can in our power to prevent people from abusing the laws that are in place.
Yeah. Well, the sacredness for life is an important factor, and it's not just the vulnerable in the womb, but it's older folks as well, is it not?
Absolutely, it is. Yeah, well, it stretches out to euthanasia and all sorts of things. There are a couple of other quick events that I'd like to mention. There's the Life Dinner, which is held I think around about May or June of each year, and a good strong 200 or 300 people get along to that, and that's organised by AFA, the Australian Family Association, who do a great job and deserve a plug. I know there's every year they work tirelessly to try and raise funds and try and promote that. Last year they had a special speaker from Ireland, Mary Dugan. It's a little bit hard to understand at times, but we praise her for the gift of being able to take on the might of governments and to her own detriment, losing her job and telling her story personally to many people. She's a powerhouse. There's also the Youth for Life dinner, which is held, I think it's around the same time as the March for the Babies, either a week or so before or after. I'll have to look at that, but yeah, it's held in October sometime. And again, it's about 100 odd young people who are passionate about life and who get together, and there's a band and they talk and there's speakers, and yeah, I've been to a couple of those, and I think last year they had a dress up, and it was really exciting. And look, there's a few other events as well that are held by the Australian Family Association. There's a few political events that are also held that people can attend. So there's quite a few events that are held if you want to show your support for pro-life.
And are there any sort of talent programs coming up where we write songs and things? What's happening there?
Well, we had the privilege of recording one or two of those in past years, and we had the winner, young lady who had the winner, I think, come on the show and talk and promote her CD, and she wrote a song, and I think she was awarded a winner. But yeah, I believe every year there's an event held where young artists will write a song about pro-life and then get up and sing it in front of a crowd, and then they're voted as the winner, and the winner gets a prize, and that song then becomes a bit of a staple in the pro-life sort of area for that year, and it's a great concept. I love it. Yes. And it's good to support and be part of all of those small things.
Yes. Maybe next time when they all sing and contribute their written songs, that we could put an album together that has all the songs on, plus the winner.
That'd be good.
So that would be good.
Yeah. Yep.
You never know, the mileage is there.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, look, we're happy to be involved and do whatever we can from Support Life point of view. We're happy to. That's why we called it Support Life. We're happy to support life in every avenue, and wherever that leads us, wherever we're able to be, we certainly will be.
I think sometimes we forget what we mean in phrases and terms, but if people watching really do desire to take the next breath and not hold it till they collapse, faint or die, that they're for life. We want to take the next breath. We want to have the next encounter, experience of the good things, to taste the good things in life. And so being interdependent is a great way to go forward.
It is, and we'd like to think that more people can come up and speak and talk about things, and we don't want the same old faces regurgitating things that they've said in the past. We want new faces, new blood, new passionate people to come on the program, talk to us, sit down, tell us their views, tell us what they're doing. They don't have to be activists in pro-life, they just have to have a view. And that can be as simple as, hey, look, I don't know much about this. I've recently heard, but I don't agree with it, and that's why I'm here. And it can be just as simple as that, and that's all they need to come and say, Gavin.
John, we certainly welcome those who support life and who would want to come on the show. Looking forward to a great year, this 2016, and good to start the year with you, John.
We're looking forward to working with you this year as well, Gavin.
You've been watching Support Life, and that's all for our program today. Join us again next week. Goodbye.